are video games actually a waste of time, or is there actually some benefit to this? Does it actually make sense to play video games? Right. That's the ultimate question. I think a lot of people, like are probably around my age and like younger, and of course older, right, are probably slightly addicted to video games, right? Probably, right? Because I think the first video games probably came out around like the 1980s, give or take, right? Somewhere around that time, right? And have continued, of course, to this day, right? But if you really think about it, what do video games actually emulate, right? They basically turn on the dopamine receptors, right, in your brain, right? So it makes you have fun, right? And when you have fun in these video games, right, and it kind of feels like you're accomplishing something, but you're not actually accomplishing anything, right? You're just accomplishing something in the virtual world. So if you really think about it, if you were to take that same energy, right, and apply it to real life, would that not be more beneficial? Just logically, just think about it, right? Also, think about it like this: when people say, "Oh, because a lot of people they give like this weird advice. It's like, "Oh, it's not bad once in a while," or if you play once or 1 hour, it's not that bad. But no one plays 1 hour. No one plays 1 hour video games, right? You say you're going to play 1 hour, and then it's really 3 hours, right? And like by the time the screen loads and everything, like that's probably like it's gonna take can take from 10 minutes to 30 minutes depending on the game, right? I know some games take longer to load, right? So again, like no one's like don't use this like, oh, it's like this is like weak stuff, honestly, weak shit in general. Like when they say, oh, like playing a video game once an hour is not that bad, right? Because no one plays once an hour. You know what I mean? No one plays once an hour, right? We all say, and like, luckily, I was never really a big gamer, right? So this is even though I probably didn't like it when I was younger, right? Because I saw everyone else playing games or video games, and like I never really was that much of a big video game player, right? But if you really think about it, I'm actually now grateful that I was never really into video games, right? Because I did not waste my time, basically getting addicted to playing video games, right? And the reality is, a lot of people are addicted nowadays, right? And it's like, man, imagine if those same people, right? Because people nowadays probably play like 8 hours, right? I think some guys even play like 16, which is crazy, right? Up until 16, right? Some of them stay up until the next day to play video. Like, you know what I mean? They start at like 8 p.m. and they do it till the next day at 6 a.m. Right? Which is kind of crazy if you really think about it, right? It's like, bro. And then on top of that, it's kind of interesting, like when you talk to people, right? When you want your friends to do something meaningful, they don't have the time in the world, but they have the time in the world to hop on a game, right? To play 2K or to play Fortnite or whatever else is the newest game, right? They want to play that. But when you want to ask them like for something meaningful, let's just say it's, hey, let's go work out. So yeah, you know what I mean? Let's go work out. They don't want to work out, right? Or let's go on a hike, right? Or let's go travel here, right? Or let's say a business or whatever, right? Any endeavor, right? Or let's try this martial arts thing, right? Anything that you can think of, right? Let's read this book together, right? Anything that's actually useful. They don't have the time for some reason, but when you tell them to hop on 2K, they have the time, right? So it's kind of interesting, right? And I'm not even gonna get into like the whole like you know like whether video games make you more violent and all that. Like that's like a whole different thing, right? So right, that's not necessarily what I'm here to talk about. Right, what I'm here to talk about are video games actually useful or not. Right. So the reality is that video games emulate fake success. Right. Right. You can make more money in a video game. Right. And you use that money to upgrade your character. Right. Or you complete certain objectives and missions. Right. And it feels like you're leveling up in the video game. Right. You start off at level 1 and now you're at like level 100. Right. And it might have taken you who knows how long depending on the video game. It could take days upon months, right, to achieve that level, right? And then you're also in this like weird like everyone, a lot of people that play video games, excuse the alarm, right? A lot of people that play video games for some weird reason also like play it with other people, right? Either online or people that they know, right? So that's also another problem with video games, right? Is yeah, and like my recommendation is, unless your goal is to literally be like a streamer, which most people, your goal is not that, right? Probably, right? Don't lie to me and say, oh yeah, it is. Okay. Right, I actually know some people that actually want to do this, right? So if your goal is, and you're actually doing this at 1 hour every day, right? Because that's the recommended amount to stream or whatever, right? An hour a day and to play the video game or whatever, right? So people can tune in or whatever, then it makes sense. But that's clearly not the case with most people. Most people, what are they doing? They're playing like, you know, God knows how many hours every day, right? And they're not even like streaming it, right? So you're not actually doing anything productive, right? And you're not making money from it. Not how. But if this is your actual goal, right? And it's not like a bullshit goal. Oh no, no, I actually want to do this, and then you never actually do it. Okay, like you're lying to yourself. Okay. So instead of upgrading your character in the video game, I think it would be better to upgrade that character in real life. And the reason I say this is because a lot of people, again, I don't know why there's like this whole like weak mindset, and it's basically a weak, right? And I said this in my last video where the quote was, or a quote I came up with, you can tell the strength of a man by the copes he defeats in his mind. And this will unfortunately be a lot of people's cope, right? Last time I mentioned in my video, it was junk food, right? And other things, right? Some people's alcohol, some people's tobacco, whatever. Some people, it's video games, like I said. And they don't want to give up video games, right? Oh no, 1 hour a day. But it's like, you will not do 1 hour of cocaine, right? Or heroin. And people are going to say that's extreme. But it's like, an hour wasted is an hour wasted, right? Whether it was, doing cocaine, or whether it was playing video games, or whether it was smoking tobacco or drinking alcohol, or just whatever, right? An hour is wasted, right? Now, of course, I mean, like, I'll talk from my own experience, right? Even though I was never really a big gamer, right? And I'm very grateful that I never was, right? Even me, with my great amount of discipline, right, that I would say that I have compared to the average person, whenever I would play video games, it would be at someone else's house, right? So I haven't played video games in years, if I'm being honest. And whenever I did play, though, years ago, even I would not play just for an hour, right? Right? It would be like, oh no, no, let's continue the game. Let's continue the game. It's so fun, right? Because it's high dopamine, right? And that's the problem. So think about this, right? If the video game is more fun than your life, right, which it probably will be, right? Because who knows the video game, right? Most video games nowadays are high dopamine receptors. So think about it, man. If your video game is so high up here, right, and it's so fun, and then your life is like down here, it's like mid, or it might even be but like really low. It sucks, right? How can you ever have the motivation to be successful in life, or wanting to be successful in life, if you're all the way up here, you have this high dopamine, right, and then you have to come back to reality, which is right here, or maybe even here. So think about it. We can't be basically time wasters, right? I'm also gonna finish this shrimp, right? But yeah, really think about it, because if the world is already against us, right? The world already, you already have enough enemies in the world, right? Your phone, obviously now, right? Your phone, this, right? Unfortunately, you will waste a lot of time with that in the modern era, right? So if you're wasting time on that, and then you go and you play video games, maybe you can even play video games on the phone now, right? Which is crazy. Right? Either on that or you play it on an actual console. You're probably wasting like hours upon hours. Like it's crazy, right? And then on top of that, it makes me think: how did we get to this point? Did we really just right? Like, I think buying a video game is like basically you're shooting yourself in the foot, right? And it's like you're like buying something that's going to basically make almost like a high, right? It's going to give you this high life that you don't actually have in real life, right? And even the most successful people in like the real world don't have the life of like that you can get in a video game, right? Right. And if you really think about it, video games are kind of like a VR, like a virtual reality, like you know those like virtual reality like goggles that you can wear, and it feels like you're actually in the video game. So that's what video games are. Even the ones that you just play on like a handheld what is it called, controller, right? That's what basically a video game is. It's a VR headset into this fake life, right? And you get to be this person for a while, right? So of course you're gonna waste your time. Like you're gonna play for 6 to 8 hours or more, right? Depending on how much free time you have, right? When you could be using that free time for something else, right? And people will give you this weak advice. Oh, you could do just 1 hour of video games, right? Or a couple hours, once in a while. But like it's never once in a while, and it's never 1 hour. It's always many hours, right? It's never 1 hour, and then it's not once in a while. It's many times in a while, right? It might even become most times in a while, right? An English teacher's probably cringing at how I just said that, right? Most times in a while. But yeah, you got my point. Is that it just isn't worth it, you know? Yeah. So again, I'm telling you on your own for your own benefit and on your basically arguing for you on your behalf. If you really think about it, I'm telling you something that even your own mind doesn't want to tell you, right? I'm basically like your rehab. Yeah, basically, right? I'm telling you that all these things are just a waste of time, right? And who knows what other things you're battling, right? So let's not add the video game into this. So what should you do? This is a good question, right? Right? If you've recognized, right, and you're not a streamer, right? You're not like someone that's actually trying to make it in the video game like industry and like become a streamer, right? Which most of you probably aren't. Let's be real, right? Right. I know this one guy that actually is. Right. Shout out to him, right? And I actually hope he actually makes it, right? But like he's actually serious about it, right? I see him literally streaming like every day, right? The level of dedication that this guy has, and he recently, I think, got affiliated, which is kind of interesting, right? Kind of cool. So yeah, that's my point, man. Like the amount of dedication it takes to become a streamer, I don't know if you're going to be able to do that, right? And I'm not here to talk people out of their dreams or whatever, right? Yeah, again, I'm not one to talk people out of their dreams, but at the same time, a lot of people say they want to do it, but they're not really for it. It sounds nice. Oh, I get to play video games, but can you actually provide commentary and make it entertaining and like will people actually tune into you? Ask yourself, would you watch yourself play video games? It's also like a weird thing. And even though, again, I have nothing against my friend that does it, right? Respect to him. Hope he gets over there. But at the same time, I would probably never watch someone else play video games. Wouldn't it just be better I just play the video game, right? Some of you also waste your time watching people play video games or whatever, right? So the content consumption, right? Not even just that, just content consumption in general, right? So think about it. You're out here wasting so much time when you could literally be doing so much. Right? There's so many things in the world you could do. Right? You could achieve all your goals. Right? And again, I'm here talking on your behalf. I'm here telling you something that even your own mind isn't telling you. Right? And it's super disappointing because we know that you have more potential. And you're wasting it away on a video game. Right? On some pixelated bullshit of a game. So what you should do is, you could sell it. I don't know. Well, it depends on how much discipline you have. You could keep the game, like the video game console, and you don't have to throw it out. Or I'm not going to say anything like that per se, right? You could either sell it, right, or you could give it to someone, right? Or if you have enough discipline to, at least plug it out of your TV and take it somewhere else. Maybe put it in your attic or whatever. Yeah, put it in your attic, and then you'll realize that all this stuff, it comes at a cost. And success takes sacrifice, so you do have to do that. At the end of the day, man, this is about your own life, right? And I want you to succeed in the real world and not in the fake virtual world, right? So put this into account, into your head. I'm going to not succeed in the video game, I'm going to succeed in life. All right? And it could be anything. I don't want to just say, what you need to succeed in, probably, hopefully, right? Whether it's fitness, whether it's like wealth or health, or some kind of like passion that you have, right? Martial arts, whatever, right? You know what you need to succeed in, so just do it, right? Instead of wasting your time on video games, just do it on this. And it's not that hard because, like I said, luckily I was never really a big gamer, so I never got addicted to it. But these are things that I can say that like I'm actually very happy. I don't think I've missed out on anything. As a kid, I used to think I missed out on a lot by not having, I think back then they had like the PS3, yeah, PS2, PS3, and Xbox 360 Xbox, right? Now I think they have the PS5, and I think the Xbox One or two. I don't, you see, like I haven't even kept up with video games. I don't even know, right? I don't even know, right? And I'm like fine with it, because I'd rather achieve things in my real life than on some bullshit like virtual reality video game. You know, at the end of the day, get rid of your console, right? Either put it away somewhere in your house that you're not gonna get it, like attic or whatever, or sell it if you don't have the discipline, right? Like if you think you're gonna put it away and then you're gonna bring it back and plug it into your TV, just sell it then, or give it to someone. Maybe even give it to someone like a friend who, right? And yeah, I mean, there's not really much more for me to say except for video games really don't make sense for majority of people unless you're trying to be a streamer, which most of you again are not. To sum it up, right? But if you want to hear, more content like this, like and subscribe, and let me know your thoughts below, right? And if you really do need help with overcoming a problem like this, you can always join my Patreon. The link will be below, right? And it's also the link in the YouTube channel as well, right? On the about um, tab. So yeah, to conclude, I want you guys to take life seriously. Instead of taking the video game seriously, take life seriously. And you can succeed as well. Yeah. But until next time, man.